Hey everybody, it's Father Corrigan. Welcome back. This is video number 2. As you can see, it's a different kind of background because this is not the pastoral, scriptural, seasonal reflection you're used to from me at the end of every week. But anyway, this is a different topic because, as you might have heard, the bishops of the state of Ohio, and together with our diocesan administrator, Father Oleksiak, we don't have a bishop right now, they have extended permission to some of our parishes to begin slowly returning to public liturgy when this can be done safely. And so the most important word there is safely. I'm really very happy and proud to report that Father Oleksiak, in his communications to the parishes and the pastors, has made it pretty clear that there's a lot of discretion being granted to the parishes and pastors in terms of determining for themselves exactly what that word safe means. I was thinking about this all day, and I was thinking about sending you a whole pile of documents and statistics and letters and so on and so forth, pronouncements. And the fact is, that'd be a lot of work, and it's a beautiful day. And also, I really don't know how important all that is in the long run, because it all comes down to this blue chart that we're looking at right now. If you've been watching the Wine with the Wine and the beautiful statistics that Dr. Amy Acton is showing us, you'd be very familiar with this particular chart. This chart, you can find it every single day of the week. It changes. It changes right around 2 o'clock because I'm refreshing the screen like every 5 seconds to see what the new numbers are. So what we have about 2 o'clock every day is a new report of the 21-day moving average of these key indicators. And you can go to covid.ohio.org, then you go to the dashboard, and then you go to the key indicators. And what we want to see, and this is something that the CDC stated in their policy a few weeks ago, that we really want to see a good 14 days of significant decline in these key indicators before we begin phase 1, which typically relates to gatherings of 10 or less people. So if you look up the CDC guidelines from about 3.5 weeks ago, you'll see that they're looking for 14 straight days of significant downturn in these key indicators, which are cases, deaths, hospitalizations, ICU admissions. And if you look at the 21-day sort of moving average, you can see that we really don't have a real significantly consistent decline in these numbers. Numbers I'm sitting in front of are pretty interesting. For instance, under cases, you can see that in the last 24 hours, there's 597 cases, and that's related to the 21-day average of 561 cases. So what that means is, reported yesterday was, about almost 35 more cases than the average daily number of cases in the previous 20 days. So to me, that does not look like a consistent 14-day decline in at least that particular indicator. And you can do the same. You can do it the same for yourself. But hospitalizations, they're clearly higher than the average. 83 compared to 73. So anyway, we can all look at the numbers for ourselves and consider what we might understand them to mean. But that's the one interesting thing about numbers. You know, you can um, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but nobody's entitled to their own facts. So you know, we've all heard that before, right? So anyway, how does all this pertain to what we're going to do here at St. Victor? So I guess you could say that the captain of the ship um, is thinking that this is not a real good picture yet, because we have to understand these four indicators in light of some very important facts. And that is on May 4th, businesses opened. Um, then this past Tuesday, we had retail open. Then yesterday we had patio dining opened. Next Friday we have restaurant dining is going to open. Um, from what I see when I'm going on my walks in the park, there are definitely cohorts of people that are not living in the same house who are not social distancing, and this seems to continue as the weather gets better and better. And you know, I'm sorry to say that I am one of those people who is very concerned that we might see and a very serious uptick in these numbers as we get into, you know, the middle of June, you know, the last 2-3 weeks of June. So, you know, I'm just leaning really heavily on the side of being super cautious. And so we're not going to be racing headlong to be the very first and fastest parish to return to the public celebration of liturgy. However, I think because a lot of places will be, it would be good to do something. Really, you know, and we haven't been. You know, we've been sending people to Resurrection Solon to look at their very beautiful, well done streamed liturgy there. Um, so I think once we get into this phase of what's actually, as I see it, it's not even phase one. I mean, I think what's happening on May 30th is actually, it's like a previous to phase one, I think. And I think if we do open our doors for a very small number of people, and that might be me and one or two other people, I do think at that point, once we start having any kind of liturgy in the church, we really need to make that accessible to everyone. So beginning on Monday morning, we're going to be moving very expeditiously to install a really good streaming system. And if you've seen the system at Resurrection, you know what I mean. Really good video, really good sound. You can see and hear everything. You connect with, you know, Father Draga and hear his really good homilies, and you can hear the lector. And so we're going to start that in earnest on Monday. But there are a lot of moving parts, and I really cannot envision this being done by May 30th. We have to get relatively fast internet into the church building. It is not there right now. We have to get really good camera installed in the church, and that requires shopping, getting a good price, getting someone to install it, um, and then contracting with a good cloud-based streaming vendor who will make portals for us to easily access our streamed and recorded liturgies. So that's what's going on. So as soon as that comes together, my plan is to begin a 5 p.m. Mass on Saturday with very small attendance. And then it will be stored on the server. So anybody that does not want to watch it live, participate in it live, they'll be able to do that later on Saturday evening or Sunday morning or whenever, because it's going to be up there permanently. I mean, it's going to have a long life. So that's what we're going to do. So, you know, I'm still investigating the various vendors to help us with the streaming services. And I will keep you informed of how all those pieces are coming together. Until we get this together, please continue to participate virtually in the liturgies at Resurrection Solon or some other church. Someone told me just the other day that the Basilica of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana, if you can find it, they are also streaming masses. That would be a really, really good place, I think, to watch. So that's what's going on. So as things progress, I will let you know. I'm hoping to stream a 5 p.m. Saturday evening mass as soon as we can get these three components installed and working in harmony together. So that's what's going on right now. As far as myself, I am here. I'm not, I think I mentioned before, all vacations canceled, conferences are canceled, any obligations other than 2 doctor's appointments are canceled. So I'm here for the duration. And I think that that's true of many of you too. I've heard of some parishioners have had to cancel some very, very nice vacations. And, I think they lost a lot of investment there. And then that reality pales in comparison to the fact that some of our families are also struggling, just to put food on the table. So as far as my staying here around the clock, it's not a hardship at all. In fact, I love to be here and available. So you have the phone number and you have the email address, and I hope that you will keep in touch. May the peace of Christ be with you and also with you.